But what are the kinds of things is it not, Jordan? What are the kinds of things it's not good for? Like if you're doing what is like having warfare go around you, not good for? Let's say before the Mongols conquered the territory you live in, there was war going on. Why is that not good? Okay, because death, right? You know, you have increased death from warfare. What else? What other kinds of things kind of trying to lead you in a certain particular direction? What other kinds of things? Let's say, think of an occupation you might be doing and go, man, no, I just can't do that right now. There's a war on. I really would like to help out, but there's a war on. What do you think? You guys like silk? You like silk? You like silk? Where does silk originally come from? China. Very good. You can write that down. Silk comes from China. What is the transportation thing that connects Chinese silk to far distant marketplaces and consumers? Silk Road. You guys heard of the Silk Road? All right, so let me ask you. Who doesn't like war, likes to take the silk, not for their own purposes, but in order to sell the silk after going on a long journey, actually this road right here, actually going on a long journey to the distant consumers who will buy it? Who are those people? Very good, write it down. Merchants. Merchants love the Mongols. I'm going to talk quite a bit about that. Merchants love the Mongols. Let me say a couple of other things, though, first, before we get too far into the merchants. There were some other people that liked certain aspects about the Mongols. One, if you had your religion, because there were a lot of different religions among the people who were conquered, Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, would the Mongols tell you, you need to convert to our religion? It's a good question. Did they care? No, write that down. The Mongols were all about what is called religious toleration. The Mongols were like, just know the Mongols are in charge, but as far as your particular belief system, go for it. I mean, is that always the case? I'll give you another example of a guy from history. Have you guys ever heard of Muhammad? He united a bunch of tribes like Genghis Khan. He united Arab tribes that were at war with each other over many, many years. And then he conquered lots of different areas, he and his followers. You heard of that? Right? But he's not just a military leader. He's also a, what kind of leader? He's a religious leader. What is his religion? Muhammad is the founder and leader of Islam. And people who follow Islam sometimes referred to as Muslims. Muhammad, if he conquered your territory, he'd go, hey, I've conquered your territory. Now let me tell you about my religion. And there would be at least some pressure to follow along with his religion. If you had it mild, probably the best thing you could hope to get away with is, I'm going to hang on to my religion, but yeah, I guess I'm going to have to pay taxes. In Muslim-controlled areas, Muslims wouldn't have to pay taxes, but non-Muslims did. So, in any event, Genghis Khan and the Mongols are like, whatever your religion is, whatever, it's okay. And once they conquered you, did they keep reconquering you? No. I mean, once conquered, you're conquered. So let's get to the trade part, because this is the real gist. This is the real impact of the Mongol Empire. You ready? All of the people living in the Mongol-controlled area, they had peace and stability provided by the Mongol rulers. In that area, it was stable. You're like, what do you mean stable? You could move within the Mongol Empire with relative safety. I mean, like, what other kinds of things would you be afraid of, like if you were traveling in other parts of the world? Yeah? Thieves and highway robbers and things like that. And especially, write this down, if you're a merchant and you're traveling a long distance with, I don't know, whatever kind of trade goods that you're going to like take from one area to another, you want that security. You want it. Are the Mongols happy to provide that? Yeah. They're happy to provide it. So you're going to see, make sure you put that in your notes. When the Mongols control this vast area, there's going to be a lot of trade going through their area. Tons of trade. Far more trade than had ever gone through that area in previous time. I mean, if you go back to the time, do you guys like study the Roman Empire? Right? So during the time of the Romans, you know, like 2,000 years ago, they controlled a lot of around the Mediterranean Sea, and they actually had a lot of control there. But I mean, did they have much contact, say, with the Chinese? A little bit. Was there a lot of trade going back and forth? Not much. I mean, wasn't it safe to travel between China and the Roman Empire back in those days? No, it wasn't. And if you tried to, I don't know, what do you do? If you're a merchant and the government, in this case the Mongols, doesn't provide for security, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? You're a merchant and you're going to go take your stuff and make a lot of money when you sell your stuff in a long distance because those people really want it, but you can't really rely on the security along the way. What are you going to do? You're like, I don't know, maybe I just won't go. I mean, you can write that down. If it's too dangerous or too expensive, you just won't go. Right? I mean, what has happened to, say, commerce during the time of COVID-19? Has it gone up, commerce, trade, or has it gone down a bit? I mean, like one aspect, movie theater business. Has that gone up, stayed steady, or gone down? It's gone down, yeah. How about like airline travel? Up, steady, down. Okay, how about like, I don't know, Amazon.com? It's gone up a bit. Why? Because you don't have to go to the store. You just have to get on your computer, and you can, I don't know, is it safe to get on your computer and like order stuff through Amazon, and then who's going to deliver it for you? I don't know. I mean, they don't even knock on the door anymore. There's like ding, and then they send you a picture of the package they delivered to you at your email. Okay? If things are too if things are too dangerous, you can do this. Help me out here. You don't know what I'm going to do. I want something delivered. I need it delivered. What are you going to do? Just hope for the best? You're going to go on your trade route and you're going to pray the entire way. Maybe not a bad idea. Do you want some advice? Somebody help. Give this gentleman some advice. Yes? Very good. You hire people who will give you security. Write that down. One of the costs of doing business in dangerous times is hiring your security. Okay? I mean, think back in the early days of the United States of America, during the wild, wild West, right? And you wanted something delivered from the East Coast or the West Coast by stagecoach. I mean, did they have like hired guns on the stagecoach to make sure that they could protect the people and whatever was being transferred? Did they? They did. Yeah. It increases the cost of doing business. Here's the deal. Write this down. During the time of the Mongols, traders, merchants, could go back and forth in the Mongol territory. Did they have to pay a lot to hire security? No. Who provided the security in the Mongol territories? Mongols did. This is good. Here's another thing. Write this down. You ready? The word is tariff. And I think I gave you that word. Yes, I did. In the handout, second bullet point, Genghis Khan's impact of disease and global trade. We got plague and tariffs. We'll talk about tariffs. Tariff is, write that down, a tariff is a tax. It's a tax that merchants will have to pay. Anybody know? When does a merchant have to pay a tax, a tariff on something? I'm traveling from here to there. Why do I have to pay a tariff if I'm going to be arriving from there, here to there? Yes? What? If you want to go into a new territory, a new country, that new country may say, yeah, you can come in here, but you're going to have to pay a tax. Well, here's the deal. What if you have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different countries when you're going from point A to point B? how many different tariffs are you going to have to pay, potentially? 5. Yeah, you're like holding up my hand with the answer. The more countries you have to go through, the more tariffs you're going to have to pay. All right, so here's the deal. Before the Mongols, let's say I started out in China, and I'm going to buy some silk from you, okay? So now I'm going to buy some silk from you, and I got a customer all the way over there in Spain. Like, I got a customer in Spain. And now I got to travel through this territory. Oh my gosh, tariff. Tariff. Yours is a lawless territory. I'm going to hire you as my security. So now I got to pay you for security. Tariff. I finally arrive here. And if I'm going to sell the silk to you and make a profit, what kind of prices are you going to have to pay? Low price? Or like it includes all of the tariffs and all of the security and all the additional things? It's going to be a high price? Do you understand? Take a look at that. During the time of the Mongols, if you have somebody traveling from China to, let's just say, I don't know, right around here by Jerusalem, you literally are going through pretty much all Mongol territory. What are your tariff costs? What are your tariff costs? You have to pay in tariff along the way. Nothing. What are your additional security costs? Nothing. How much am I going to be able to sell it to my customers at? A really high price, or am I going to be able to make a profit and still have a nice low price? What do you think? Nice low price. What is going to happen to the overall amount of trade? Higher or lower during times of the Mongols? Higher, higher, higher. We'll get to the Black Death next time. Wipe down, and actually, in order to save some, if like maybe one of you wipe down the back, one of you wipe down the front, because we're starting to like get a little bit low on some of the wipes. We went through an entire one of those over